Hopefully you can see my screen right now. I have Desk up. What I want to talk about quickly, most of you are probably already familiar with Desk, but just in case there's anybody on here who is brand new to Coldwell Banker, I just want to touch on what is essentially the glue that really guides our day, right? So Desk is essentially a virtual office for our agents and staff. It's where all of our products and tools are going to be housed. And it's a very easy way to kind of function day to day. I know that, it's 2022, so we are really working in a virtual world these days. And the nice part about Desk is that it's going to be a place that you can just log in and have access to everything. It is a single sign-on, so when you log in, you will have access to all of your apps and programs, and you will automatically be logged in as long as you access those programs directly through Desk. It's easy to navigate. It has real-time updates. It's really just the way that our agents and employees should really start and end their day is right here in your virtual office. All right, so when you're looking at Desk, there's a couple of things that I think are pretty important to note. The first is that, of course, on your dashboard are going to be all of your apps and programs that are available to you. There are a couple of different ways that you can sort and filter them. And that's the nice thing about Desk is that it really is customizable to you. You can set it up for however works for you in your day-to-day, right? So for example, my Desk, I have all of my apps that I use the most frequently put to the top 2 rows here so that I can easily find them and access them. So these are all the products that I'm going to be clicking into pretty much every day. But you do have options. You can sort your apps alphabetically if you choose. Maybe that works for you in the way that you operate. You can also sort them by most recent. So that's going to be whichever ones you use the most recently will filter to the top automatically. But if you want to do like I do and you want to sort them yourself and put them where you want them, just go ahead and hover over the app card. And then you'll see this little dotted box in the top left corner. You can use that and you'll be able to drag and move the tiles to wherever you see fit. If there's a tile on your dashboard and you don't necessarily think that you need to have that particular tile, you'd like to remove it, what you would do is just hover over the tile until it highlights itself blue. Look for the little X in the top right corner, and when you click that, it'll remove it from your home page. Just know that this will not delete the app entirely. It will always be available. What you'll want to do if you want to get that app back, maybe you did that on accident and you didn't mean to do that, you just go ahead and add app and then find it from the list of apps that are available. So you can't remove anything, you can't delete it, it just hides it from view. A couple of other things I think are very important to note about Desk. In the top right corner, you have this little heart. These are your favorites. This is a great way to bookmark and save the aspects of Desk that you find to be the most beneficial. You have a couple different options for favorites. I'm going to go ahead and click Manage Favorites. So you can sort through which applications show. This is very similar to what we were just doing with the moving the tiles around and clicking the X to remove it from view. You can add delegation, which means you can give others the ability to log into your Desk as you. You can select your favorites, and this is very important because, of course, this is where you can add links to third-party and external sites. Your MLS will already be here, so that's a nice thing. You can access your MLS website very easily, but you can also select or deselect any of the options that are available within Desk. And then you can also turn on or off your CB Briefs notifications. That's that daily email that comes with like news, events, important information that you need to know. You can have it sent to you daily, weekly, or you can turn it off. I don't recommend turning it off because I do think it's a great way to stay on top of things that are happening. We had a really great event last week where Ty Pennington was presenting. So I know I got about 3 or 4 emails regarding that event, which was super exciting. I don't know if anybody got a chance to attend, but that's just a great way to be in touch and on top of what's happening. So I always recommend keeping it daily, at minimum weekly, if you are finding that's too many emails in your inbox. After favorites, I have the Help Center. I pretty much talk about the Help Center on every training that I do because it is the most important feature that we have in Desk, in my personal opinion, because it's where all of the information about our products and tools are housed. So anything that you can access in Desk on one of those tiles or those app cards is going to have a corresponding Help Center area, help center in the help desk. So for example, let's say we were looking at what's a good program? I was looking at Design Concierge. So if I want to get more information about what Design Concierge is as a program, I can click on here and get a little bit of a description about what it is. I also have all these different links within that Help Center tile there. So I can get training resources, which I find to be very beneficial. This is where you'll find upcoming training dates, recordings of previous trainings, quick start guides, tutorials, things of that nature. Every app card within the Help Center is going to have FAQs. We also have release notes. So this will tell you about any new features that have been added or incorporated into one of our products. You also have links to how to get access to support, and of course, lots of other resources here. I do find that the Help Center is extremely beneficial for both our agents and our staff to be familiar with. Next up, we've got notifications. This is where you'll get a little kind of a ding. So you'll have a bell here and it'll tell you how many notifications. And again, very similar to some of the other ways that we try to make sure that our agents are aware of everything that's happening, is that it might show in your Desk notifications. So you'll find if there's an event, if there's been an update to a product, anything along those lines, you'll see it shows as a notification in your Desk Center, and you can click view all. This will give you everything that has happened recently. You want to mark them as read, and then that will remove that notification. So for example, I have 8 notifications in the top right corner. If I remove this, now I'm down to 7, 6, etc. So it's just a kind of nice way to also stay on top of what's happening, not only in your metro, but across the entire country and the Coldwell Banker network. We have a search bar here in the top. And the nice thing about the search bar is that you can filter the different ways that you want to search. So the default's going to be everything, but maybe you're looking for a specific app, or you're looking for something within the Help Center, or you just want to filter through your news. Those are your CB briefs. There's a lot of different ways that you can filter through. So when you're searching for something, it'll kind of narrow down those results and you won't have such a large amount of search results. Over here on the left is going to be your main menu, and each of these links here is going to have a whole subset of menu items, and it will vary based upon whether you are on our Coldwell Banker Realty side or if you're part of our Coldwell Banker affiliate offices. So just know that what you're seeing under mine may or may not be quite exactly what you see, but it's definitely going to be very, very close with slight changes. So I've talked about CB Briefs. That's that daily email that comes in with all the news and information about Coldwell Banker and what's happening. But if you miss one of the emails or if you've decided to turn them off, you can always come in here and you'll find everything that's been in your CB Briefs for the past couple weeks. So you can get all that information here as well. You'll have a company directory. So if you wanted to, you can find the contact information for your office or either a staff member or a fellow agent. Under company, this is where you're definitely going to see some discrepancies between Coldwell Banker affiliates and Coldwell Banker company-owned realty offices. Just know that any information you need to know about your specific metro or your specific company will probably be housed here. We also have the marketing tab, a lot of different pieces here, and these are great for kind of clicking through and just sort of becoming familiar with what resources are available to you. Maybe you want to look at the branding. This is a great way to kind of get an idea about how to start branding yourself. If you're brand new to real estate in general, not just a Coldwell Banker, but practicing, maybe you only recently just got your license, there's a lot of great resources in here, especially this social media page, all these different ways that you can kind of sort of build your brand and start building your business, right? It's all about referrals and networking in real estate. So there's a couple of great guides here as to how to really just get up and running and started. Under My Business, this is where you're going to find a lot of great resources, specifically like forms, all the forms that are available to you. You know, we're talking not just listing forms, but anything that might be applicable to you. We've got education. So this is a great way to find out what new classes are coming your way. Again, you know, talking about our brand new agents, if you are new to Coldwell Banker or new to real estate in general, we have a lot of really great education resources for how to get started in building your brand. If anybody on here is a branch manager or a broker owner, we also have a recruiting tab that you'll see with lots of resources available there as well. Business Advantage, this is going to be where you can find some of the partners and affiliates that we have and reduced costs. So for example, Coldwell Banker does have a couple of deals with other companies. So you could purchase things through this at a reduced rate. We have our partners and services. Most of you are probably familiar with these, but this is going to be like your guaranteed rate affinities, whatever your local title company is, a lot of different information here, as well as some of our third-party partners. Lots of great information and resources here. So I always encourage you to just kind of click through, make sure you're familiar with Desk and you know where to find certain things. You'll find that we do have this collapsible side menu. So if you'd like to see more information on your desk or your dashboard at any given time, you can certainly reduce the size of that. And then last but not least, we have this floating help button down in the bottom right corner. It can be a little bit hard to see because of course it is the same color as a lot of the desk tiles and text, but this is a super, super important feature that I like to call out. When you click on it, you're going to find that you get additional help resources. So you can click through to the Help Center if you want to look for a specific Help Center article. You can chat directly with support. This is one of the best ways to get to get resources and help and support is just to chat with our IT department. You can call or request help. So this is basically submitting a help desk ticket or getting the phone number to call our help desk. You can reset your password if you need to. You can also leave feedback about the desk application itself. You'll find that as you click through some of our products and tools, that little help button, that floating icon in the bottom right corner is actually going to show in some of our products as well. So like Listing Concierge, Exclusive Look, Market Quest, you'll see that same little blue button in the bottom right corner. So if you're working in like Listing Concierge and you want to talk to a support staff, you can just go ahead and pull up a chat window right there in the application. So one of the other things I want to point out before I start talking about Profile Manager is that within the app cards, each of these have what we kind of affectionately refer to as deep links. So you'll see down here, this blue text or these three little dots are going to give you links direct into other resources. So for example, in Prospect Square, if I just click on the tile, I'll be taken into my Prospect Square dashboard. But maybe I want to go into the Prospect Square Help Center. I would click on these three little dots here, click on this link, and that'll take me directly into the Help Center. Or I could even click on Market, Area, or Quarterly, and that will take me directly into that particular report within the Prospect Square application. Same applies to a number of these other ones. So I can either click Listing Concierge and be taken directly into the dashboard. Maybe I want to access the Help Center articles. Maybe I want to know exactly what the timelines are for my market. So I want to know how quickly I can expect some of those materials that I've ordered in my Listing Concierge package. Those are going to be listed here. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then, of course, you have your welcome bar here that's going to always be greeting you with whatever the most important and recently available information is. If there's nothing going on, it'll probably just greet you by name, and that's about it. For example, I am part of the desk audit, and that's a completely separate issue. But basically, that just means that I manage select content within the Desk Help Center. And so I know that I have to access my audit and go ahead and look at that information. So it's kind of nice that it shows here right at the top, just sort of prompting you to make sure that you're taking care of any action items that are required of you. So if we're going to do Profile Manager, the way to access Profile Manager is in the top right corner. Go ahead and click on your facial image here, and you should have an option for Profile Manager. I do not currently have one because, of course, I am just staff, so I don't have an agent profile, but you would find yours here. So what I'm going to do is use one of our backend websites to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. Because this is one of our test sites, this is basically where we practice with certain features to make sure that they function correctly before we release them to everybody. It might look a little funny here, so it might just be slightly different from what you're going to see, but the general idea is there. So when you're in Profile Manager, what you're going to find is that you have a couple of customization options. You'll be able to edit your profile image if you want. You can certainly change this. All you'd have to do is click the pencil icon and then select your image or your headshot from your desktop. You'll have the About Me section, and certain fields within this are going to be locked for editing. So if it's got this little padlock here, that just means that we cannot edit it within Profile Manager. These changes need to be made in our source system, so that's going to be probably Dash or Trident for you. You can request a name change or any of these locked fields. You'll have to request the change, in which case your office admin or your branch manager or your broker will make those changes for you in the source systems if you see anything incorrect. But just know that it is locked. So we didn't want anybody to accidentally make a change to something super important like your name or your license number. So those are currently locked in Profile Manager just for the time being. You'll find that you're able to add a number of different items. So you could add which languages you speak, a bio, title, and whatever you have for your professional bio. You can add a video URL. Maybe you have an introductory video about yourself. You can add your designations. Are you a certified luxury home specialist? You can add specializations, maybe first-time home buyers. Any number of different things you can add here. If you do make any changes, just make sure that you click Save Changes so that those are captured. Now, how Profile Manager works is that it has a two-way sync with those source systems I was talking about. So again, that's Dash, Trident, and CB Homes Admin. So when you make a change within Profile Manager, it pushes that change directly to those sources. And those are what feed out to our other products. So for example, you could make a change in Profile Manager. Maybe you're changing your let me show you. Maybe you're changing your social media, right? You're updating your social media link. You're adding a new one that was not previously there. That information will feed to those source systems, Dash, Trident, CB Homes Admin, and then will then feed out to your profile on our products. So you could change your social media here in Profile Manager. It feeds to Trident or CB Homes, and then in turn feeds out to Listing Concierge or Prospect Square. So anytime you make a change here, it'll push out to those systems and then a kind of cascade from there to all our other products. So this is a super easy way to make sure that all of your information across all products is exactly the same. So of these tabs, you're going to see About Me, you're going to see Contact Information. This is going to have all of your information here. Again, your email, your Coldwell Banker provided email is going to be locked, but you do have the option to add an alternate. Perhaps you're using a personalized email, such as a Gmail, or maybe you have created one, with your name or your website, your personalized website. You can update your phone numbers. We've got mobile, business, and fax. You can also select whether or not those phone numbers are going to be displayed on coldwellbanker.com or cbhomes.com. You can also update your mailing address. Again, if you make any changes, just go ahead and make sure you click that Save Changes button. The changes within here are not automatically captured, so there's no autosave. Under Office, most of these fields are going to be locked, so you'll find that you aren't able to edit your title. You won't be able to change your office or your MLS ID number or your license number. So if any of these are going to change, you will need to make sure that you request that change from your office staff, and then they'll be able to make that update for you. The only one on here that you can edit would be your NAR ID number. So if you have that, you're certainly welcome to add it. You'll see that it's not a required field. So if you don't necessarily have that number readily available, you don't need to put it here. It's just an option in case you want to have that included. And then, of course, we did look at social. You can add all of the different social media links. You can even have your own web page. Maybe you've got your own luxury presence page, or you've hired a third party to put a really nice professional page together for you. You can add that link here. You can even link to a blog. So if you're managing some content externally, you can certainly do that. I always make sure I just want to drive home that it is super important to make sure that if you're adding social media, that you are actively maintaining a social media presence. It can be a bit dissatisfactory for a consumer to click on a link for an agent's page, Facebook page, only to find that they haven't posted anything in 2 years. So if you are not actively engaged in your social media profiles, I would maybe discourage you from putting those here and only add the links to which you are actively engaging. That does make for a much more satisfactory experience. When you change these links, they are going to push to those other systems. So if somebody finds your agent profile on coldwellbanker.com or cbhomes.com, they will be able to link to your, click on your social media pages because they will show in your profile there. One of the things I do want to point out here is that if you are in multiple metros, so for example, if you're licensed in, let's say, Florida and Illinois, you could have two separate profiles with two different information. You might have your Florida profile and you might have your Illinois profile. If that's the case, you'll find that you have this button here that says viewing profile. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit because I do realize that my text is a little small here and I apologize for that. You'll have two profiles and you just need to toggle between the two. Obviously, these are not real profiles. This is not a real person. This is not real information, which is why it looks a little funny when I say non-AIR customer and customer 1 and basically customer 0. But what you would see is Florida and Illinois. You could see your two different profiles. So if anybody on here happens to be dually licensed in multiple states, you would have that option to customize each of your profiles. Unfortunately, they do need to be managed individually at this time. Maybe eventually we'll be able to merge them together, but as of right now, they do need to be individually managed. One of the other things I want to show you, select agents on here. This is not going to apply to everybody because not everybody has Leads Engine. But if Leads Engine is your leads platform, let me grab a real agent here because these are live profiles. You'll have this new tab called Lead Settings. And this is where you'll be able to add your preferred settings for receiving leads through our websites and other methods such as Moxie, right? So what you want to do is just kind of take a quick look in here if lead settings is available to you. If it's not, that just means that you're not currently using Leads Engine for your leads. And you just make sure your contact information is correct. You can set your availability, which basically just says that these are the times of day that you're willing to take those lead calls and, or depending on how you have your settings, maybe it's emails, text. You can also enable vacation mode. So if you're going out of town and you know you won't be able to respond to a lead that comes in, you could turn on vacation mode for a set amount of time. Maybe it's only 1, 2, 3 days. And that just means that you won't receive any leads through our websites or of that nature while you are out of town. So you do have a couple different options here, which is really nice. And of course, these are going to feed directly into Leads Engine, which is what's going to be our primary lead platform for Moxie. Okay, so let me just make sure I covered everything here. Something I should clarify, if you are in our Coldwell Banker affiliate network, so those are our franchise offices, there is a slight possibility that you will not have access to Desk Profile Manager, and that's if your company is using a third-party data provider. You will have read-only access because, of course, the Desk Profile Manager is not set up to sync with those third parties. So you'll be able to see your data being stored and be able to verify accuracy. But if you need any changes, you will definitely have to reach out to your broker or your office staff member to make any changes needed. All right, let me take a look here and see if we have any questions coming in. I think we have about 5 minutes left, so I want to capture any questions. I don't see any questions coming in here, so I feel like that's a good sign. Maybe that means that I have covered everything thoroughly. But if anybody has any questions, I'll go ahead and leave that Q&A open for the time being. Let me make sure I've covered everything. I just want to make sure. So there is a possibility that your profile admin feature will be actually in this menu. It might say profile admin here. Because I don't have profile admin in my personal account, I only see my profile. So yours will probably be here in this menu. There is a question. Yes, this is being recorded. I also have a previous recording available in the Desk Help Center, but you'll be able to grab the link for the recording from today's session in the chat. But if you wanted to, you could click on the Help Center, go to Desk, and look for the Desk and Profile Manager agent training dates. So we have today's session. Our next one is in July. And then if you want to, you can click here to watch a previous recording. This is going to link directly to YouTube, so there should be no access issues. So if for any reason you try to grab the recording from today's session from that link in the chat, and it's a OneDrive link, so sometimes the access can be a little bit funny, then you would want to go ahead and grab this YouTube link because there would be no access issues. I do see a question about can we access Yammer from Desk? And that would, yeah, the answer is yes. Let me go ahead and navigate back to my homepage. So you're going to look for a tile. Let me just go ahead and filter instead. So you should look for a tile that says Office 365 and email. And then from here, if you click on these three little dots, you have these extra links. I mentioned earlier, in case you're not on the call, that these are deep links within each of the app cards. So you could directly access Yammer by clicking on that link. So yes, and you're already logged in, so you'll be able to see everything that applies to you and any Yammer channels that you are participating in. There's a question here about Profile Manager populating Zap. Right now, Profile Manager does not feed to Zap, but it feeds to Dash and Trident. And I believe those may feed to Zap. I'll have to double check on that. So basically what it is it's a two-way sync between Profile Manager and those primary source systems. So that's Dash, Trident, and CB Homes Admin. From there, that information disseminates out to most of our products and tools that are available. So if you make a change in Profile Manager, it feeds back to the primary source, which then trickles out to everywhere else from there. Hope that helps. It can be a little confusing. I started to try to like draw a diagram to explain how that works, and then it just got, it did not look good. Let's see, there's a question here about how to view this class in Teams. So the recording will be in the chat after today's session. I usually stop it a little bit early, and then if you give it about a minute, it'll populate and you can grab that link and copy it. A question about how do you add an app to your desk that was removed. So if you clicked the X here and the app no longer shows on your home page, you would want to go ahead and click Add App. Find whichever one it is that you want. Let's say I'll just go with BrandServe. Highlight it and then click Add. And now it will show back on your page here. I have a lot of tiles, but here you go. It's the first one that gets added. There's a question about, are you at CB Homes Admin? So the information, I'm on Desk right now, but the information in Profile Manager does sync to CB Homes Admin. Okay, let me make sure we don't have any more questions coming in. All right, so I think we are right at time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. If you